I cannot wait to watch you guys play.
Coming to you from the My Michigan TV studios.
We're going to kick you in the teeth.
It's the Roar Live.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
With hosts, Michigan High School Hall of Fame head coach, Tony Blankenship.
Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
The outsider, Scotty William, and Corey Tiez.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Roar Live, a day after the 34-31 win at Ford Field. The Lions over the Packers. Not only that, they go to 12-1. They clinch a playoff, 4-0 in the North Division record as of this week. And Corey, I mean, this seemed to be a pretty quick week, didn't it? Thursday to Thursday, you don't see too many of those.
Yeah, it did. It went by fast, too. It was very fast. Good game last night, too. Very good game. Very competitive. I liked it. I like what I seen from both teams, actually. But, yeah, fast week, and, Lions go to 12-1, and here we are.
Well, you are watching the Roar Live right here on My Michigan TV, YouTube, Facebook, and beyond. We want to hear from you. That's right. On the screen is the QR code to get in on the action. Let's talk some Lions post-game with you. We also have the Roar chat. We want to see and hear your comments if you don't want to be up talking to us live. So that's another way you can get in on the show.
Yep.
The question of the week. I got another good one.
Okay. Here we go.
Who holds the record for the longest rushing touchdown in a game for the Detroit Lions? Is it A, Barry Sanders, B, Billy Sims, C, Javid Best, D, David Montgomery, or E, Bob, and I got the pronunciation here, Horensenmeyer.
Horensenmeyer.
Yes, Bob
okay.
Horensenmeyer. His nickname was Hunchy.
Oh, okay.
So those are the.
Do you know what was he? A running back?
He was a running back.
Fullback or running back?
No, he was a running
Okay,
back.
running
We
back.
had to go
All
back to the
running
1950s.
Okay.
But those are the answers you can pick from right here for the Roar question of the week. Lots to talk about.
Okay.
Highlights upon highlights.
Yeah.
So let's dig into them now, shall we? I know David and Jared are going to pull those up. In quarter one, the Lions started off the scoring early with his David Montgomery touchdown. And David Montgomery is off and rolling early in this game. The Lions then, in the second quarter, would recover this fumble, and it didn't look good early for the Packers. But in quarter two, the Lions would score again. Jake Bates, Mr. Bigfoot himself,
Big guy,
would put the Lions up 10-0. Green Bay would strike back here in the second quarter with Josh Jacobs right up the middle, another tank for a running back.
He's a good back.
The Lions would answer back with this touchdown pass to Jahmyr Gibbs, making it that would put him up 17-7.
What's the celebration dance here with Gibbs?
I'm not sure.
What is this?
They always got something good, don't they? Sonic Knuckles.
Okay.
I think it's just what you would call that promotion.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Green Bay would strike back after this with a touchdown in the second quarter. Bam! And that would make the score 17-7.
That's a dart right there. That
was a dart.
Yeah, that was a dart.
Green Bay would then take this interception from Goff. I know you say Goff has his tendencies to throw picks. That's exactly what he did here.
Yep.
His only mistake of the night, actually.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that bad. Green Bay would get back in the third quarter. Green Bay would score again.
This guy's
Josh Jacobs, the touchdown machine, his second of three.
Yeah.
but the Lions would strike back in the third quarter. Tim Patrick would catch this pass, his first of 2 on the night. Green Bay would strike on a first down. I thought this was kind of cool. He muffed it there, but he was able to break these 3 tackles almost, and he got right back up. Kraft talked a lot of crap in that game.
Yeah, he did.
And
he did.
Made really his only good play of the game.
This is a big rivalry, man. These two teams don't really like each other.
No. Quarter 4 would start off with a Green Bay touchdown. And it would be Josh Jacobs again, right up the middle. He was unstoppable last night for Green Bay.
Yeah, he's
the
a
Lions
handful.
would counter with this Tim Patrick touchdown in the end zone, 2 on the day for him. Green Bay would strike back again, this time with a field goal by McManus. But the said, nope, we're going to keep it. He barely fall. Well, he almost fell. I was kind of shocked.
Did he trip over? What is
I don't
this?
know what that
What
was,
is
but
this?
Montgomery got the first down, and that pretty much sealed the deal. You see here, he comes back out. It looks like he might have got his foot tangled up with the center.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see that?
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see the tangle.
I thought he looked like he got his foot stepped on.
Yeah.
But then it was this. My man, Mr. Bigfoot, Jake Bates, puts it through the uprights, and that's how the game ended. 34-31 win for the Lions. As we said, they went to 12-1, clinched a playoff berth. I mean, what do you think, Co? I mean, how did you feel that game went?
You know, I thought both teams came out with what's the word I'm looking for? I thought they both came out with a purpose.
Spicy.
Yeah, it came out spicy with a purpose. It took Green Bay a little bit longer to get into their rhythm.
Sure.
But both teams were playing like they had something to play for.
Absolutely.
The Lions had to play. See, this game was very important. People got to understand. This is obviously for the Lions to clinch, and then it helps them moving forward on how well Green Bay does, Minnesota does for that seeding.
4-0 in the division.
Exactly. So this was very important for them. They went and took care of business. They did what they had to do. Hats off to those running backs, man. Montgomery and Gibbs, they just, hats off to them. The defense started out. Now, I'll give them credit. The defense looked very fast. They did. They looked like they were flying all over the place last night. They looked like they were flying all over the place. So I got to give them credit. But Green Bay is a good team. They're well coached. They have a great young quarterback, a good young quarterback, not great yet, and they have a great running back. I think the Raiders wanted to keep that kid. So Green Bay could have easily folded, but they showed some fight, and the Lions kept going, and they did what they had to do to secure that win, to secure that playoff spot. And now here comes it's going to get spicier and spicier. I don't know what they're going to do moving forward as far as like players and playing and this and that.
Well, I'll tell you, they signed Jamal Adams, a former Pro Bowl
safety.
safety.
Okay.
He played last night against
Okay,
the Packers.
okay.
He made his presence known. Quan Alexander also made his presence known. So they are getting the most out of what they have and who they're picking up. I know we had a special Grits Giving edition of the Roar Live. You could find that on your favorite podcasting platform.
Yeah.
Joey and I were in California over the weekend. We got your video comments and Tony's video comments.
Yep.
But Joey made a statement saying this team has a next man up mentality. And when you look at it, it's kind of true because the Lions are dealing with injuries. They have 13 players on the IR. That is double of any team in the NFL. Dan Campbell is stated as saying, let me ask you this. Does it really matter? Like, who cares? Either it is or it isn't. We get a guy back or we don't get a guy back. Worrying about it and moaning about it and bitching about it. I know this, whoever we have available, we're going to get them ready to play, and we expect them to hold the line, period. You've got to do your job, and everybody around you is looking for you to do your job. And so far, that's what it is. It's been next man up. And these guys, these second and third stringers, have been playing really good football for the Lions.
Yeah, I mean they've lost one game,
Yeah.
but you got to give it to this. Campbell is such a salesman. I love it.
Absolutely.
This guy's a salesman. He knows exactly what to say. He knows exactly what looks like he knows exactly what to do right now because he's winning a whole bunch of games. But like I was telling you earlier, I want to know, like, I don't know the Lions roster like that. I'm learning it. But is it really like, are these other players that are injured? Because everybody's injured in the NFL.
Right.
Everybody.
Well, I'm talking about long periods of time.
Like
Anzalone probably will be back by playoff time.
Mm-hmm.
Hutchinson, maybe they're saying if they can get to the championship game or a Super Bowl, he could come back for that. I don't know if that's
I think
true.
I think Hutch is out.
But Anzalone, we said. Who else was on there? DJ Reader didn't play last night. And then Aleem McNeil got hurt, went out of the game last night with a concussion protocol.
Mm-hmm.
We hope that the next 10 days he can come back for him. Branch left the game last night with cramping. But like I said, Jamal Adams showed up. Zadarius Smith has really stepped up and is putting pressure on the quarterbacks. I think he got his second sack since he's been here.
I think he was.
And then Quan Alexander had a couple of assisted tackles. He's a former Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
So they're doing what they have to do on that defense. And like Joey said last week, it's next man up mentality. And they seem to be doing just that, playing for the guy next to him. And it's exciting to watch. I mean, did you see it? Did you catch any of the locker room action?
No, I did not.
On those Dan Campbell's. If you get a chance, take a look at those. That's some good rah-rah. He's got this team running. And what I like about Aaron Glenn, since we're sticking with the defense, he seems to be getting the most out of all these players, getting everything he can out of these guys, week in and week out. And, we thought, everybody was thinking, Hutch is gone, Anzalone's gone. But they have stepped up, and the guys that have stepped up, like Jack Campbell now and Zadarius Smith, they've kind of filled those holes. And, of course you want your guys in there, but there's still a lot of football to play.
It is.
You're 12-1.
Yep.
You still got, some weeks left. So you hope nobody else gets injured.
Right.
But I'll tell you, you got to love what the Lions are doing defensively.
Yeah, just to piggyback off that, like a year ago, 2 years ago, they were talking about firing Glenn.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were talking about getting rid of Campbell. They were 1-6, and Glenn needs to go, and they didn't have. Now they got guys who are buying into it, who have bought into it. Right. They're 12-1. They're playing fast. They're playing hungry. They're playing together. They're playing as a unit. They're playing with that next. When you got a guy on side of you that that'll go to war with you and get in the trenches with you and battle with you for 4 quarters. Hey, it's fun to play football that way, and that's what they're doing. Campbell to me, is more of a. I look at him as not really an offensive. I look at him like as a just get down there and get tough type. Whether it be offensive, defense. Glenn was a very good defensive player when he played defensive back. So I'm sure he's teaching these guys, hey, look, this is our time. Our time is now. It doesn't matter who, like you said, no matter who's out there. We play for each other. Second unit, be ready. Third unit, be whoever. Adams is a pro. These guys, you have to give them credit. They are playing together and they're playing hungry. So, we'll see if they keep up the good work here. But they're buying in for sure.
You are watching The Roar Live right here on My Michigan Television, YouTube, Facebook, and beyond. So glad you joined us. We want to hear from you. Right up on the screen is how you can get into the show tonight. Just scan that QR code and get in on the action. We also would love to see you or look at your comments, I should say, on the Roar chat. Yep. We have a comment coming in right now for the Roar chat, and it is Pat from St. Clair Shores. He or she, I'm just going to say Pat. I don't want to say he or she. Yeah. A for the question, on the Roar. I think that was Barry Sanders was A.
Okay.
We'll find out at the end of the show. He says, I think, actually, we had posted this question, and I wanted to get this with you.
Okay.
I was going to say, are the Lions fans becoming too insufferable, or are they any more obnoxious than any other fan base? And I posted that up to our IG account, so that's why I apologize. That is the question. Are the Lions fans becoming too insufferable, or are they any more obnoxious than any other fan base? Pat said, I think any fan base has their idiots, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
Do you, I mean, you see so much going on, all this talking going back and forth, which, it makes the game exciting.
Yeah.
I don't think the Lions fans are any more obnoxious than, let's say, Philly fans.
I don't think they're obnoxious. I think they're
Excited.
very. They haven't won.
Right.
The Lions, I'll give them credit on this. That fan base has always stuck around.
Sure.
Win, lose, or draw. They were there when they were 0-16.
Yeah.
So
Selling
now,
out.
Yeah, selling out. So they're not.
It's like it's almost like, how do I put it? They finally, do they seem a little more obnoxious than maybe of past years?
Yeah.
I would say to a certain extent, if that's the word you want to use.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like you said,
Yeah.
this is a team that has lost, and other than the last couple, 2-3 years,
Right.
I mean, it's just I think it's their pride finally showing, saying, hey, we're a football team that people are saying we're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's
And when have you ever heard at any point in your lifetime
Never.
the Lions are going to the Super Bowl?
never.
Exactly.
So they're excited. Let them be excited.
Right.
Now, of course, you got your last-minute latcher-oners, and you know what I
Sure.
mean. You're
Absolutely.
going to have that in every fan base. But no, I don't think they're obnoxious. They're not. They're just they're cheering for their team. They finally look like they have the front office in place. They have the coaches in place. And hey, they're 12-1. They haven't been 12-1 in 100 years. They haven't had a start like this this is insane right now what they're doing.
Right.
They're playing good football and they have good leadership. So they're excited. And like I said, that fan base has always been loyal. That's not, hey, they've always, win, lose, or draw, they fill those seats. So that's always been the issue, coming out to watch a bad product. Now the product is good. So they're going to get even more crazy. Yeah. They were crazy before. So hats off to them. Have fun.
I'll tell you what. We took a look at the the defense. Let's take a look at the offense. Tim Patrick, 2 touchdown catches. Here's a kid that comes out of I believe he came out of Penn State. Had a good season with the Broncos. Injuries kind of derailed him the last couple of years, but he's caught on and played a really good game. David Montgomery, a 3-yard touchdown run. Jahmyr Gibbs, as we've seen, a 2-yard TD catch. These guys, Montgomery and Gibbs, even though either one of them ran for 100 yards last night, they still were the scoring machine.
Yeah.
And, of course, my guy, Mr. Jake Bates, 2 field goals, 1 from 43, 1 from 35.
Yep.
He's really solidified that kicking position.
Yeah, he's only missed 1 kick.
Yeah, and the Lions have always had good kickers, and I hope Jake Bates is a guy that can follow that Jason Hanson, the Eddie Murrays, the Matt Praters even.
Yeah, yep.
Prater was good too.
Yeah, Prater was good.
Jared Goff, I know he's your favorite quarterback. 32 of 41.
Yep.
283, 3 touchdowns, 1 interceptions. What was your take on Jared Goff this week?
Again, Goff always plays solid. The guy's a solid guy. I just think that the system, he plays to the system. He's a system guy, I think. And if you give him time, he will tear you apart. I just think in that big moment, that's what's going to, until I see different. That's it. He always plays. He's played good for like the last 12 weeks. But except take the Texans game out, and but I just think he has to show me that he doesn't show me anything. He just has to show. He has to prove to the fan base and whoever rooting for him, the coaches and all that. Can you overcome that hot spot? Can you overcome that hot spot in January? Can you not make that mistake? He's prone to do that. He's got to get over the hump like Stafford did. That's all I'm saying. He's going to play good next week.
Right.
The guy's a smart guy. He's a smart guy. He knows where to throw the football and what to do with it. I just think, is he a big time enough to not make that mistake when it matters the most?
John B. from Wyandotte answered Javid Best for the Roar question. And for those of you that are just tuning in, the Roar question this week was, who holds the record for the longest rushing touchdown in a game for the Lions? Was it Barry Sanders, Billy Sims, Javid Best, David Montgomery, Bob Hohensenmayer? Hunchy, as they called him.
Hunchy.
Back in the 50s.
Okay.
We'll find out. They also said here, Lions fans are just excited and people need to get over themselves. It's been a long time coming, and we are one pride. I think that kind of sums it up.
That sums it up. It has. Detroit has suffered enough, football-wise. So people think they got it right. I still don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. But
like I
who
said,
am I?
I wouldn't say that they're become too insufferable. I think it's fan bases. When you look at different Facebook pages and stuff, the Vikings fans have they've been talking crap about how the Lions fans are. Packer fans have been doing the same thing. I know Jaden Reed, the wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers, he said St. Brown who or something like that, and he says, wait till I get to Detroit.
We'll beat him.
And guess what? He came to Detroit, and J-Mo, our guy, left a comment on Reed's IG feed that said, did he come? So they're kind of getting what I like is this, it's the talk.
I like it.
These guys are talking, but so far you haven't seen them pick it up.
Beat him.
Yeah.
If you don't want to hear him talk, beat him. Minnesota, you got another shot.
Right.
Bears, you got another shot. Green Bay, they beat you twice. So hey, you got to beat them. When you're winning,
right,
and things are going well for you, talk. Stop them, beat them. And now it's like, so they have to. They see this division.
Right.
This division. Everybody's a rival.
Everybody.
I love it. I love this division. I love it. Everybody's a rival, and everybody's talking. Until you shut the line, you got to shut them up. You got to shut them up. If you can beat them, go ahead and beat them. If you can't, hey.
Lions Syndicate said he didn't make a mistake last January. Well, okay. I'm assuming he's talking about golf.
Didn't he?
Well, they got into the championship game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was the defense that kind of collapsed.
Some drop balls. I think Gibbs fumbled.
It's been so long. So it's almost been a year since that time. That's a good comment.
Well, you know what? And to that point, like I said, I didn't see it in L.A.
Right.
So it's something. It's just, you know what? I'll tell you what. It's kind of like, it's one of those things that that it thing. And I just don't think he has it to get over the top. That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying the guy's not good. He's a good, solid quarterback. He is. He's smart with the ball. Is the moment too big? I'll say that.
Well, speaking of that, I think there's some similarities to another Detroit team. You want to know what that is?
Go ahead.
Okay. I think
Tigers?
this team has a lot of similarities to the going-to-work Pistons. And I'm going to tell you why. The going-to-work Pistons similarities, they always said it was a collection of unsung players who proves that not only could hard work beat talent, but that talent is nothing but the result of hard and consistent work. And you know what? I think that's a good similarity.
That's a good point.
I mean, the Lions, yeah, they have talent.
Yeah.
But, you know, like you said, do they have the elite quarterback like maybe a Patrick Mahomes?
No.
Do they have an elite defense?
No.
Let's say like the 08 Steelers
No.
did.
They
No.
don't. They don't.
So I think they're getting the most out of their talent. They're definitely putting in the hard work.
Well, yeah, I said that. That's a great
Yeah.
point. I said that before. I said I don't think anybody on the Lions is a superstar. I give you maybe Sewell.
Sewell, yeah.
Now, Gibbs will be. I think Montgomery has benefited from
You don't
this.
think St. Brown's a superstar?
No.
Not yet?
No.
Okay.
I think he's a good receiver. I think he's a very good receiver. I do not think he's a superstar. I don't. Jefferson's a superstar. I think, and it's not that many superstars. Like people Lamb is a superstar. Jefferson's a superstar. The kid in Cincinnati. Amon can be a superstar. I don't think he's there yet. I don't think he's there yet.
Hollywood Reggie from Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh.
Came in with he gave us the answer to the question. He thinks it's Hunchy. So Hollywood, his answer would be E. Bob Hoyensenmayer from the 50s.
Okay.
So that's his. Tammy from South Lyon says Barry Sanders.
That's too easy.
Lions are rabid, win or lose. It's a football town. I agree with you. I mean, it was definitely a football.
Yeah,
it's been a football town.
It's a football
well,
town.
between Michigan football, Michigan
Yes.
State football.
It is a football town.
I mean, and we've had some excitement.
It's a football
over
town.
the past
With
week
Michigan,
or so.
yeah, it's just waiting on Michigan State to get back.
Yeah.
It's a football town, and like I said, the Lions have been they're ride or die no matter what, win, lose or draw, they're here. You got to give them credit for that. So this ain't no, you got your few hanger-oners, but this ain't no where they just now everybody's Lions fans. No, they've always been Lions fans. They always have.
Well, you know what? I'm going to go back at the a guest we had in here in preseason.
I know where you're going.
You know where I'm going with it?
I know you're going with it.
Gilbert Gravedigger Brown. We love you. We love everything you do for the community in Green Bay. But I'm telling you, my friend, you are dead wrong this year.
Yeah.
He said he actually decided to call this the Meow Line.
The Meow Line.
And it's far from this.
He did.
It's definitely a roar. The fans are roaring.
He did.
He predicted the Packers would win the North and the Super Bowl, and he says they always own the North. Well, not this year.
No.
And as Tony has stated before,
Yeah.
every season is a different season. You can't compare. You might have run the North a few years ago.
Yeah.
Not anymore, Gil.
They did.
Sorry.
They did. Yeah.
We love you,
Yeah.
but you were completely wrong this year. We're 2-0.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I want to see them in the playoffs. To have to go and beat
They're
a
tough.
Green Bay team.
Twice.
Well,
3 times.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to do.
It is hard to do. It is hard to do. Playing your division opponent is very hard to do, even when there's nothing at stake.
Yeah.
It'll be a tough out again. Green Bay's a good team. I picked them to win the North. I didn't pick them to win the Super Bowl, but I thought they would win the North. But yeah, it would be. They're scary. Right. They're a scary bunch. I mean, they gutted Dallas last year. They actually gutted the Lions on Thanksgiving last year.
Yes.
And that kid is a star. He's going to be a star. And if they get a
What do you think his issue is?
Love.
I mean, when you look at the game,
He gambles.
Andy Keebaugh says Laporta is a superstar.
Not this year.
He's Laporta.
Superstar.
I don't know if he's a superstar. I wouldn't put him in the Travis Kelce range.
No. See, and then, again, this is second year.
Right.
Everybody want to make these guys they're not superstar means consistent greatness. He had one good year. I don't know what this year is like a C. He's not great. Laporta's good.
But it's kind of scary though when you think about it that the Lions really haven't utilized him.
They haven't utilized
yet.
They haven't. Yeah.
And so that you almost have to think
Yeah.
there's some bag of tricks there
Yeah,
they could pull out later on in the season. As Tony has said before, you're not gonna. There's so many plays that you're not gonna show
Right.
until it's time to show.
Right. Yeah.
And you haven't seen Laporta. I mean, St. Brown's had
He
a
didn't
good
play.
year,
St.
but, I
Brown
mean,
didn't play.
he's
He was
not
missing
really-
in action yet
Yeah.
last night. So yeah, greatness comes along with consistency. You got to be consistently good, consistently great. Laporta will get there. It's just his second year. I think he's a good tight end, but he's not great yet. You know, like you said, he hasn't even, he hasn't done much this year. And I don't know if he's been injured, like kind of not, I don't know if the play calling, I don't know what it is, but they haven't really, utilized him as much as they had last year. So that makes a difference. You got to be consistent in order to get to that greatness.
Well, you are watching The Roar live right here on My Michigan Television, YouTube, Facebook, and beyond. So glad you came along with us. We want to hear from you. The QR code's coming up on the screen. Just take your camera out and scan it and get in on the conversation like so many in the past have.
Mm-hmm.
And we also want to hear from you in the Roar chat. We have another Roar chat comment from Sammy in Westland. He says it's Billy Sims for his answer to the Roar question. And he said the Lion fans are nowhere near as bad as Philly fans.
No.
And I'm going to have to agree with him on that.
No. Philly, yeah, come on. No.
I don't think there's a worse fan base.
The Phillies? I mean, they get violent. Like, they get
Would
violent.
you say Yankees? If we have to go to a different sport? What are the most worst fan bases?
Well,
Off
like
the
when you
top
say-
of my head, Philly. I can't think of anybody else that you hate to say I don't want to go there because the people you don't want to go there.
It gets kind of crazy in L.A. as far as Dodgers, but
Okay, Dodge.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in
Yeah.
San Diego
Yeah.
with a L.A. Dodger or a Padre jersey in L.A.
the Yankees are just, I would say they're just kind of, it's either World Series or nothing.
Right.
So they're kind of in that mode.
Maybe
Yeah.
Boston Red Sox.
Boston's Philly is the
Philly's kind of
yeah,
disgusting.
baseball and football.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And hockey,
basketball.
too.
Yeah. So yeah, but Detroit fans are classy. You don't hear about them just tearing stuff up and and fighting all the time in the stands. You never hear about that. At least I don't. But again, they've been supporting this Lion team ever since time began. So yeah, Philly is. I would put definitely Philly up in the tops of that for sure.
Definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
Andy from Fowler, Michigan said, Barry Sanders.
Mm.
And he said, the Lions are finally winners, and it just shows the built-up pride we have for a team we have supported for so long. And I think that's true.
Let's break that down. Winners of what?
Well, they're finally winners.
Winning
They're a
like
winning
the
team.
division.
I would say winning.
They're winning. They're a playoff team.
Yes.
Okay. Because like I said,
We haven't won any Super Bowls.
no, you got to
But,
win.
I mean, to have a consistent winning team,
Helps you out.
you'd have to go back to the early 90s for the Lions,
yeah.
where they were winning,
Yeah.
But, yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, listen, let's take a look at the around the league. So after Week 13, that was last week.
Mm-hmm.
The Vikings beat the Cardinals 23-22 to keep pace with the Lions.
Yeah.
The Packers beat the Dolphins in Lambeau 30-17. That was Dolphins are frauds to me.
Total.
And, of course, the Lions squeaked by the Bears. And for those of you that haven't caught the Grits Giving edition of that show,
Yeah.
we have that streaming on your favorite podcasting platform, on the Cohen Bro Opinion Show
Yep.
platform. Join me and Joey, Eastvale Joey, and Corey pipes in, and, of course, Tony.
Yep.
So Week 14 so far. Week 14 so far, we have seen the Lions beat the Packers.
Yeah.
The Vikings host the Falcons. I think they're coming. No, I think the Vikings are actually in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah. My prediction on that, I'm going to say Vikings 24-20 over the Falcons.
Falcons, nothing.
I know this is a Kirk Cousins, maybe a revenge game.
Is it?
But
Well,
I don't know.
He threw
We'll see.
95 picks last week, so he better be something.
The Bears travel to San Francisco to play the 49ers, and I'm going to pick the 49ers 25-17 over the Bears.
I'm going to pick the Bears.
Really?
Unless San Francisco, do they have any players? McCaffrey's out again.
Yeah. Well, they've done pretty good backup-wise.
He is decent.
They still have.
He is decent. That back.
I mean,
forget
Purdy's still playing.
He's going to play this week?
I believe so.
Okay. I'm still
played
pick the Bears.
last week.
I'm going to still pick the Bears.
Okay.
He did play last week.
So
Yep,
you
he
picked
did.
the Bears.
Yep.
Week 15. As we go into Week 15. Next week, the Lions host the Bills. To me, this is going to be a tall tale sign of how good the Lions are and how competitive they can be against a Bills team that is 10-2 right now as of today. They haven't, obviously, we're a few days away from Sunday.
This game can go either way.
I'm actually going to give you a prediction.
Okay.
Lions 35, Buffalo 24.
Ooh.
That's my prediction.
Wow. Wow.
And the reason I say that
Lions are at home, right?
The Lions are at home. Buffalo has put up 30 points or more over the past 4 or 5 weeks or something like that. Something crazy like that. But they don't play as well on the road. So that's why I'm going 35-24 Lions. And I like Josh Allen. And this is another team that I feel is like my second team.
Yeah.
Because they play, Buffalo, all the years with Jim Kelly going to 4 Super Bowls and losing them all.
There you go. My point exactly.
They kind of are in the similarity realm of the Detroit Lions to a certain extent, other than the Lions haven't been to a Super Bowl.
Right.
But not winning anything, I
Right.
think. I would put them in that category.
Yeah.
The Packers.
I'm going to go 28-21.
28-21.
28-21 Bills.
Okay. Packers go to Seattle next week. I am going to go 23-19 Packers over the Seahawks.
Yep.
That's my prediction.
I'm going Packers over the Seahawks.
Seahawks.
You never know what you're getting from them.
You really don't.
I just don't.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what you're getting.
And then we have a NFC North division rival game next week. The Bears head into Minnesota. And I am going to say Vikings 25-17 over the Bears.
I think the Vikings will beat the Bears. Vikings are a good football team.
Okay.
Bears are too, but I think the Vikings win. Bears got to get offensive line.
Well,
Somewhere, somehow, some fat. Caleb played well enough to beat the Lions. He had 3 touchdowns. The kid is good. He's going to be all right. Get him an offensive line. He got to learn a lot. Got to learn more. He's young. But, again, this division is going to be awesome to watch for the upcoming years. Eberflus, what do you say? So, but, yeah, Minnesota is solid. They are solid. I can't wait for the playoffs. I mean, I don't want to rush the season, but the playoffs are going to be something else. Going to be something else to watch.
yeah, I mean, because you figure you right now, I think when you look at if you were to start today, you would have 3 NFC North teams in the playoffs.
Minnesota, Green Bay, the Lions. If you look
with
around,
all who have better records, if I'm not mistaken,
Than
than
everybody
the
else.
leaders in the South, or the
they do.
or the West,
Yep.
I think,
Yep.
or close to it. Mm-hmm. You're watching the Roar Live right here on My Michigan TV,
Roar
YouTube, Facebook, and beyond. That is the QR code to get in on the action here on this post-game day after show, as the Lions, as you know, came up big last night, 34-31 win at Ford Field. Jake Bates with the clincher, 12-1. We're going to the playoffs. That's
Yep.
a good thing.
Clinched.
Right now, 4-0 in the North.
Clinched.
2 more division games to be played, the Vikings and the Bears coming up. Vikings at home and the Bears away, if I'm not mistaken. And the Roar question of the week. Well, let's look at the standings real quick. The NFL standings. Right now, 12-1. We've won the last 11 games. That's still a tight race.
It is.
The win against Green Bay definitely was a good job for the Lions.
That was big.
That gives them a nice 3-game cushion. But the Vikings playing some good football
they're
also.
Right there. They're right there.
You know what I noticed, though? When I was watching that game, the Vikings play against the Cardinals, there's still something that is missing to me
From the Vikings?
from the Vikings.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is. Sam Darnold.
Well, I don't even know if it's Sam Darnold. The
just
defense
average.
really didn't look all that great against the Cardinals last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they had trouble,
Yeah. And that's
and I can't put my foot on it because when I look at it, when you look at the talent on that defense,
they got a pretty good defense.
they have a pretty good defense, but for some reason, something just hasn't clicked yet. And maybe you're right. Maybe offensively it is Darnold.
I think so. I think so. Average quarterback. Average. I like the kid. He's bounced around. He's haven't had a full chance. This is a full chance. I said that they would be a dangerous team, in this upcoming season. But it's up to him. It's up to him. They're 10-2. They're not. But it's like you said that I know what you're talking about. It's something that
You know what I'm
can
saying?
you get it over the top? type
And
deal.
I'm going to say this too. I think when you look at it, I think the Packers still haven't, even though they're 9-4.
9-4.
9-4. Something still hasn't clicked yet with Jordan Love. I didn't think he looked dominant the other night
No.
at all.
No. Like I said, he now keep in mind he's still young too.
Yes.
And he was injured. I think he's fully healthy now. But let's keep it a buck here. It's hard to play at Ford Field.
Yeah.
It's hard to play there, man. That home field advantage that they have is kind of something like I haven't seen. It was like Seattle back in the day with Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that 12th man.
It's loud.
Yeah. It's hard to the energy. They just look like a whole different team. The one thing that impresses me about them really a lot, and I got to say this, I think they can get every 3rd and 6. When you do that, you can win a lot of football games.
Yeah.
And
I
big
agree.
ones. And every 3rd and 6 and every 3rd and 7, they can hand it off and get those yards.
Yeah. And that was
That's
impressive.
scary. Yeah.
4 of 5.
That's scary.
And Campbell said, he wanted, in that last drive, he wanted the offense to stay on the field, and he knew down deep that they could get that, and that's what he did. I think he realized, hey, this defense is tired. He might have said, hey, this defense is tired, especially with the injuries, and the offense won that game for him.
Yeah.
Hands down.
The offense won the game.
Didn't want to
yesterday.
get you didn't want to give Jordan Love the ball
No,
again.
no, yeah, he will love. He will learn. Love will learn. He gambles a lot. He throws off the back foot. He
Well,
runs,
I mean, he almost had a pick there
Yeah.
in the end zone that was called back on a Terry. But I looked back at that.
He
Though,
loves his
That
arm.
was very.
Yeah.
That was a very
Ticky-tack?
fluky
Yeah.
ticky-tack call.
He loves his arm. He loves his arm, so he's going to take those chances until he reels that back and reels that in a little bit. He's going to make those mistakes. But I like the kid. I think the kid will be fine.
Well, you are watching the Roar Live right here on My Michigan TV, YouTube, Facebook, and beyond. The question of the week, the Roar question of the week. Who holds the record for the longest rushing touchdown in a game for the Lions? Is it A, Barry Sanders, B, Billy Sims, C, Javid Best, D, David Montgomery, or E, Bob Hornschenmeyer? They called him Hunchy back in the 50s. Hunchy. We have a Hutch in the 50s. They had a Hunchy. Yeah.
Hunchy, okay.
So let me ask you something, Kel.
Sure.
You gotta tell it like it is this week.
I do.
Okay.
I have to tell it like it is.
Well, why don't you tell it like it is?
So you guys, I heard the call-in stuff. I'm going to go back to that a little bit. And Joey was adamant. You guys were adamant about Campbell being a great coach, right?
Well, I don't know about that. I think what he said was he wasn't adamant. We were saying, obviously he doesn't have the resume yet that you could say he's great. I think Joe said he's definitely a above average coach. I think that's what he said. I could be wrong. I'd have to roll back the tape. And if you haven't caught that, that is our Grits Giving edition. You can hear the audio form of that on your favorite podcasting platform. Just look at the Cohen Bro Opinion Show, and the Grits Giving edition's on there.
Yes, yeah. So I'm listening to that, right?
Okay.
So I think deep down inside, you guys think he's a great coach, but I have a couple of coaches here.
Okay.
So the last coach that you guys had was Caldwell, right?
Right.
He won 2 Super Bowls, right? He won 2 Super Bowls. He wasn't the head coach.
Head coach?
No,
Okay.
he wasn't the head coach.
Okay.
We'll even go to my guy. He's not my guy, but he's my team's guy. McCarthy won a Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
McCarthy's won 36 games the last 3 years in the playoffs. Find 3 people that think he's great. Tell me.
McCarthy?
Yeah. You won't.
I wouldn't say he's a great coach.
Exactly.
But what do you? Well, I guess what you have to say.
So my point is, Campbell needs time.
Yes.
McCarthy's been in the league 15. He won a Super Bowl. Nobody considers him great.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Give the guy time. Does he have it? He has it. He has the moxie. He's a wonderful leader. He's a great leader of men. But in order to be great, again, we just talked about it, you have to be consistently great. That's the piece I wanted to touch on there. Now, about this Super Bowl thing, I still don't think you guys are going to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And and to go back to Campbell, Campbell's done what President John Fitzgerald Kennedy did. He said out of his own mouth, I hire smart people around me that make me look good.
Okay. That's true.
So Campbell's done a good job with that. He
Well,
knows,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he's on his way, but he's got to keep doing this. The reason why I don't think you guys are still going to win the Super Bowl is still the defense. And there's 4 teams that's never made a Super Bowl. Houston, Jacksonville, Cleveland, and the Detroit Lions. All of a sudden that you guys won 12 games in 12 games, I'm supposed to believe that the DNA says you're going to go to – you have to prove it. Because if you don't win in February, all of this is a loss. Because the Lions now, they're everybody thinks they're a Super Bowl team. Everybody thinks that, but me. Just like everybody thought Kobe wouldn't win without Shaq, but he did. The Lions still have a long way to go. Okay? So if you don't win in February, then the season is the same old Lions with a bunch of wins. That's the way I look at it. I just don't. You cannot tell. You're not going to tell me and make me believe that a franchise that's never won a Super Bowl, never even been to a Super Bowl, has the DNA to win it. I just don't believe. Not with the quarterback that you guys have. I just don't see it.
Hold that thought.
Okay.
We have on Zoom.
You can win a lot of games.
I think you might have got under the skin of somebody.
Okay.
Hollywood Reggie is on Zoom from Birmingham, Alabama. Reggie, how's it going, my friend?
It's going well. How you guys doing?
We're good.
What did you think? What did you think of the game yesterday?
It was a nail biter. You know, I was a little concerned about the 4th down play when he could have kicked the field goal, but you know, it worked out. I know that when he fell, I don't know if you saw the replay or not, but the center stepped on his foot.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, the center
That's
did
what I
step
thought. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
So it wasn't golf, just scared of the moment?
No, he was ready. If you had been scared of the moment, that play would have never materialize like that. He was fold as soon as he. Now, yeah, he didn't do a Tony Romo. You know,
Uh-oh.
Romo would always kind of falter at the big moment. That was a big moment.
Yeah.
I know you always talk about the big moment, Corey, but that was a big moment for this part of the season. And what you are watching is the DNA formulating for
After 100 years.
Champion. Not necessarily this year. Could be this year. But you're watching it formulate right in front of your very eyes. And this is a tough division. It's going to be a tough division for the next several years, at least 4 to 5, you know, because of the lifespan of, you know, the players, particularly the running backs. But the Lions are doing something that they have never done before and ripping off 12-1 record, 11 wins in a row. My concern is that I think they might need to lose one of these last games, not the one to Minnesota, but they need to lose. I think they should lose one game so they can remember the pain of losing.
That makes sense.
I think they remember it for 100 years.
No, not true. The fans do, but these players don't.
Yeah, these players.
Yeah, that scares me a little bit. You know, you hate to see a team go into the postseason undefeated, just kind of like the Patriots did, and when they were, and then you know they lose out.
Yeah.
But that is, you know, you kind of want your team to have some. I mean, not to say that they haven't had their trials and turmoils this year, especially with the defense. But I think, you know, I agree with Reg on that. I think them. You don't want to see them lose, but kind of experiencing that before you get into the thing. I don't want them to lose, though, Reg, until they solidify that number 1 seed. Because I think, and me and I've talked to this with Corey and Tony. I think that if they can solidify that number 1 seed, that trajectory to the Super Bowl just gets a little easier.
Well, you play one game less.
Right. Well, you play one game less, and all your games
are at home.
At home.
So yeah, listen. It's still one game to me.
Okay.
Anything can happen in one game. Lions are in the playoffs. Win a bunch of games. I don't care if you go 13-3. You got to win in February. All this talk, it doesn't matter. I don't want to hear, "Oh, we had a great season." That's a loser mentality. If they don't win the Super Bowl, it's a wash. That's me. I'm sorry. That's what every team goes for. It's a wash with Buffalo. It's a wash with San Francisco. Buffalo, you know how hard you can win a lot of games. Just ask Golden State. They won 73 and they lost in the finals. You got to win in February. To me, I don't care about the fan base. I don't care none of that. It's a wash if you don't, because now you're big, you're bad, and you're bold. You're going to win about 14 games. If you don't close, it's back to the drawing board. You know how hard it is to get back here again? You got to close now.
Yeah, they got to win it now.
Yeah.
The win there, the door is open. They got to walk through it.
Now.
Yep. Now, but at the same time, they could possibly be building, depending on what they do in the draft, upcoming drafts and free agency and stuff, they could be working on an extended period where they are making this run to the playoffs. Because it's all about getting to the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree 100%.
Changes to the season. First of all, you got to get to the playoffs.
Yep.
You don't get to the playoffs, season is, over. Once you get to the playoffs, now you got to win.
Yeah.
So step 1, they've clinched the playoffs. Now they got to begin to focus their mentality on winning the big one. Mm-hmm. Winning that big, look at teams like, well, how did Kansas City do it? How did New England do it? What kind of attitude did these guys have? And I think Campbell understands that. And this is the lunch pail mentality team.
Mm-hmm.
The old days, and metal lunch boxes that your parents used to carry if they worked in the plant.
Yep.
Anybody.
Yep.
Right.
This is the kind of team Detroit is, a lunch pail mentality team. They come into work.
Yeah.
And that's matter who fits into the picture as far as the players because of the injuries. Mm-hmm. They all have that kind of mentality. And I think that speaks to Coach Campbell and what he instilled Not saying, Corey, that he's a great coach.
No, he's not. I give him credit, though. I give him
But he's
credit because
with this team that nobody else has been able to do with this franchise so far.
yeah, I mean, and he's got some good players around him because you need that. But the Lions, they're going to win all the time now. So at the low end, 10 games, 11. They're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Next couple. That's no question about that. If not, if they don't get in the playoffs, something's wrong. Everybody's heard of something, but they're in the upper echelon now. They went to the NFC champ. People forget that they went to the NFC championship last year.
Yeah. Should have won.
Now it's time. It's just like San Francisco. When are you going to win it? Now you got to win. Lions, you're in the same boat. You're elite.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Reg, what did you think of the comment I made earlier? I don't know if you heard. There's a kind of a similarity there with the going to work Pistons.
That was good.
They're a collection of unsung players who proved that not only could hard work beat talent, but that talent is nothing but the result.
Yeah, he said that.
Of oh, you did?
No,
Okay.
no, he agreed. He said it too. You said it earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, Reggie said that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I meant by lunch pill mentality.
Okay.
You said came up.
Yep.
They go to work, they put in their hours, and they go home. Go to work,
Yeah.
go home.
Yep.
Well, I know you're a football guy, Reg. How do you feel? I was telling Corey, I think the signing of Jamal Adams is good. I think them being able to get a Pro Bowl caliber linebacker, even though he's a few years away from that in Quan Alexander. I think, obviously the trade deadline's gone, but to be able to pick up two quality veterans like that to kind of fill in, and both of those guys made their presence known last night.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? That helps. They make their presence felt, but I think it helps more in the locker room, but particularly when you're talking about like a Quan Alexander, Pro Bowl player.
That's a good point.
He brings perspective that a lot of the younger guys there may not have, and him coming in with those credentials is going to garner a certain amount of respect from those players, particularly the younger ones. And I noticed one thing about that game, that they had them linebackers flying all over the place.
Yeah, they look really fast. I'm like, what is this?
Well, and then you also got to look at David Long Jr. I mean, here's a guy that's really only a season or two away from a really good season he had with the Titans. He kind of got lost in the mix there with the Dolphins, but there's another quality linebacker that you picked up off the waiver wire. So I kind of like these moves.
Yeah.
Obviously I like the Zadarius Smith move on the defensive line. You definitely needed that, but even Muhammad played pretty well last night.
Yeah.
You know what? That defensive has really made kind of like forget about Aiden. Is that his name? What's the
Hutchinson,
linebacker?
Aiden Hutchinson? Yeah.
Yeah, Hutchinson. There's not too much talk about him. The way the line has been playing. The line's been playing pretty good.
Yeah.
But the way they linebackers yesterday, I think, kind of caught Green Bay off guard. They were swarming all over the place.
They were swarming. Yeah, they were fast. They looked very fast.
Mm-hmm.
They look like in a third gear or something. But here's what I don't want the Lions to do. I don't want them getting all fancy smanchy and their coordinators deciding to go other places. Because to have a dynasty, you keep stuff in place. You give them raises. You don't just ask Bieniemy.
That's right.
You don't want to go off and do something, get into a bad situation where you're looking up and then you're fired from that situation. Just stick tight. Just stick tight.
The name in New England that had them rolling for all those years?
Josh Daniels?
Yeah.
Just
Right. Failed, had to go back.
Right.
And go back.
Right, because the players depend on how many times do you see quarterbacks lose their offensive coordinators and they just tank. So to do something to keep it going, keep those folks and do your best to try to. I know Glenn is going to go, he's hot. No, dude, everything is not the same in another place. Stick with what you got. Give it a little more time. keep winning and doing what you got to do. Don't break up the band
Right.
just because you have a couple of wins here. You know what I
They
mean? A
look-
couple of winning seasons.
Yeah, they lose the coordinators. It's going to be hard to replace.
Yeah, exactly. Stick with what you got.
They got us working. I mean, but then again, that's going to depend on how much money they throw at them. So the Lions going to have to be able to match,
Yep.
and the Lions should have plenty of cash.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Forrest
So
got money.
you got a lot of Alabama players that come through to Detroit from Saban's era.
Mm-hmm.
What's the receiver's name? Williams.
Yep.
Yeah, he's turning out to be. He might turn out to be the go-to guy.
Well, yeah.
St. Brown.
Well, and that's like I agree with you. I don't think he's going to be I think he's going to be better. He's going to be good. He's not going to be good as St. Brown, but he's coming along. If he gets his route running down and not just blow by you, he's already hard to deal with. But here's the thing I'm going to say, and I wanted to say it real quick. I always said the Lions needed something bigger. They got it with the Patrick kid. Dial him up more. He's a big target. Yes, he's a big target. I always wanted him to get a bigger receiver because St. Brown, he puts you in the mind of Kupp and Edelman, and he's not the big, that Patrick guy, he's a difference maker. He's a difference maker. They need to, what is he about, 6'3"?
I have to look that up, but
He's a big kid.
Yeah.
So, big target. That's what you need. Coming across that middle, end zone, throwing it up, keep him around and utilize him more. He's going to be, with that core, St. Brown, Williams, and him, and Laporta.
Yeah. They got
good.
a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think Laporta as much as around the end zone, but they got so many weapons now that they can throw into the end zone.
They can throw,
Who you going to cover?
Exactly.
Because you
That's
got to
gonna be
watch.
tough.
Got to watch for Montgomery and
Right.
Hip. So while you looking at them, somebody's open.
He's 6'4".
Yeah, he's 6'4".
Yeah, 6'4".
6'4". That's what I'm talking about. I like that. Prototypical. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. But with those backs and those wideouts like that, like I said, the offense can beat anybody. Can the defense hold? Can the defense hold serve? That's it. That's the key to their Super Bowl. Can the defense stop Josh Allen? Can the defense stop Mahomes?
And I made a mistake. He's actually out of Utah. I was thinking Penn State, but he had some good years with the
Denver.
Broncos.
Yeah.
I think he had a 735-yard season with them, and
Yep, I like him.
especially 45 receptions, 711 yards.
Yep.
In 2016.
I like him. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked
Reg,
really good.
you answered the question. Did you look it up, or did you know what the answer was?
When I saw the list of names, I figured it was going to be him because he is not a name that most Lion fans know unless close to my age or older.
Okay.
Right.
And when I saw that name, I said, he's from the old Lion era, so this is probably the guy. I did go and check it out, and I was right. He's the guy.
Yep.
So for all of you who tried to answer the question, Reggie is the winner this week. The question was, who holds the record for the longest rushing touchdown in a game for the Lions? It was Bob Hunchy Horngenmeyer. He won that in 1950. Something about Hunchy. That game, he also set records for 198 yards rushing, along with the longest touchdown against the New York Yanks of the NFL.
Wow.
He was 17 for 198 and a touchdown. And Hunchy was a two-time Pro Bowler in 52 and 53. He actually won 2 NFL championships in 51 and 52. And he led the Lions in rushing for 4 straight seasons.
Wow.
That record was held on to for 41 years when Barry Sanders rushed for 220 yards against Minnesota on November 24th, 1991. Some tidbits there for everybody out there
All right.
in Roarland. Reg, do you have any added extra comments here? How do you feel? How do you think they're going to do against the Buffalo Bills next week?
That's the game. That's the one that they probably should have checked off on their calendar, because they're going to have to stop his arm and his legs. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Allen. Mm-hmm. So, he's a monster out there. He's been rolling over the last several weeks. I think Amari Cooper is kind of getting settled in as their guy, and
no baggage.
Yeah, right. So we'll see what's going to happen. It'll be a high game, and I'll make this prediction: whoever gets the ball last wins.
Good prediction.
I like that prediction.
Yeah, this game can go either way. This could be the Super Bowl matchup. It could be.
Yeah.
Well, Reg, I like to say I like those glasses you have on.
Thank you, sir. They kind of look like yours.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought I was the only one out there, but no, I'm not. I'm not the only one out here with my boys call them the Harry Potters.
Harry Potters.
The Harry Potters.
Do I get some Tiez gear for the answering the question?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, we'll have Corey send you over some Tiez gear.
We'll set you up. We'll hook you up, man.
Or some pocket socks. Either one will work.
There we go. The pocket socks too.
Right.
Reg, thanks for coming on with us tonight. We appreciate it.
Okay, thanks for having me, guys.
We'll hear from you hopefully soon.
All right.
You are watching the Roar Live right here on My Michigan TV, YouTube, Facebook, and beyond. Did you have a second ending to that? Tell it like it is.
No, that was
I know
it.
I kind of cut you off.
No,
there.
we're fine. We're on time, but yeah, I just you got to prove it to me. That's
Okay.
all. That's all I'm saying. Like I said, they can score against anybody, but can the defense hold? And will Goff make the mistake?
Well, that's all you can ask for.
That's all you
right?
can ask for. That's all you can.
I guess we'll see as
That's
the
all you can
weeks
ask for.
progress.
Yep.
But I will say this. They have tied the Cowboys record of 95 with 12 wins. They're 12-1. So they're still on that trajectory. So
To win it.
to win it.
Okay.
To win it.
All right.
That's all I was trying to say. You are watching the Roar Live. We want to thank you for coming along this week. An exciting football game. The Lions beat the Packers at Ford Field. 10 days off. The Bills come to town. Probably their toughest opponent yet. And a lot of more football to play. A lot more Roar shows to do.
Yep.
And we want to thank you for coming along this week on the Roar Live. Catch us on your favorite podcasting platform, the Cohen Bro Opinion Show. You can find the Cohen Bro Opinion Show there, and of course, the Roar Live. And for Jared and David in the back, and of course, our buddy Dave Scott out in the field, I'm Scotty William. That's Corey Tiez, and we'll see you next week after the Lions. Do they beat the Bills? We'll see. See you next time.